Welcome to SGEU. Today, our union builds on its proud history of over 100 years in Saskatchewan. We have more than 20,000 members and we keep on growing. In this video, you'll just meet a few of them. Their experiences, reflections, and their work in our larger community is what makes SGEU vital, relevant, and strong.
I've worked for Nortep Norpak for 14 years. When we decided to join the union, we had two main concerns. The first related to salary inequities, as employees were being paid according to two different salary grids. Our second concern was job security. A new management team and restructuring of the organization left us feeling quite powerless. I come from a very working class family and a very union-oriented family. When I was in high school, my dad was the vice president of SGEU, and subsequently he became the president for 5 years as well. And being young, being a teenager, I didn't think that my dad's interests were very cool, so therefore I didn't think unions were very cool. As I got a little bit older and moved into university and then into the workforce myself, I became more aware of social justice issues and started to really see the value of unions in representing workers' rights. So when things were getting difficult for us in our workplace, I talked to my colleagues and we decided to go with SGEU because SGEU represents government employees and we are a provincial government organization. Also because SGEU has an educational sector, and there's also an institution in the town of La Ronge where they offer post-secondary programs and their employees are represented by SGEU as well. So we felt SGEU was a really good fit for us.
So this is my drive to work. It takes me about 20 minutes to get to Kelvington, where I work at the Kelvindale Lodge as a special care aide. I've been working there for about 17 years, and this is my quiet time to get me psyched up and ready for work. It's great to work at a unionized facility where you have sick time, for one thing. I used that a few years ago when I had a heart attack, and it was nice to know that they guaranteed me a job to come back to. After my heart attack, I did a graduated return to work and didn't have to return to work until I was ready to. They couldn't get rid of my position, and it's kind of a comforting feeling to know that it's bargained in your collective agreement that you don't have to go back to work until the doctor says you're ready and until you're ready. Every workplace has occupational health and safety concerns, and mine is no different. I was interested in improving the air quality in my workplace, and I went to SGEU to sponsor me to things like the Saskatchewan Federation of Labour Occupational Health and Safety Conference. I've learned how to take concerns to the employer, and so I did that. I came back, went to my workplace, and wrote up my concerns to the employer. The employer then had somebody come out and investigate it and started working on improving the air quality. Not only do the staff benefit from this, but so do the residents of our facility. And in doing this, I didn't have to worry about my job, or losing it, I guess. Last year, my local Occupational Health and Safety Committee nominated me for the Safe Worker, and last March I won the Safe Worker Award. And time for work.
When we first decided to unionize, we contacted two shop stewards from a local educational institution that is also represented by SGEU, and they put us in touch with the head office in Regina. We were aware from that point on that we weren't permitted to engage in unionizing activities in the workplace or during work hours. So we communicated by texting, inboxing on Facebook, and we met in people's houses and local restaurants after work. I didn't really have to twist anybody's arm. Dissatisfaction was pretty high in the workplace at that time, and so our unionizing efforts moved along quite quickly.
And 16 years ago, I was working for a government facility called the Children's Shelter, and I was ordered to on a canoe and portage trip with our youth to go and to help supervise these troubled youth. The one youth was throwing stones at campers in the campground, and the supervisor ordered me to do a restraint, ultimately, to control this behavior. I did that, and when we got back, this youth lodged a complaint saying that I assaulted him. The director at the time ended up getting the police involved, and the police ran their investigation, and I was terrified. I was so beside myself that I was going to lose my job. How could this happen when I was ordered to do what I ultimately did by the employer? And Terry, the steward, got involved and turned this situation onto the employer, as ultimately having them take the majority of the responsibility. And when I went back to work after this all was completed, I realized how important it is for you to understand your rights, how you need to know how to work and in your workplace, and what rights you have as an employee. And the only ones who are able and wanting to teach you those kinds of things is the SGEU. And I thank God that they were there. To this day, I'm probably still employed by the government because of what the SGEU did for me. From that incident some 16 years ago at the Children's Shelter, and learning that, you know, I needed to know my rights. I needed to understand what union is. Because the employer doesn't want to share that kind of information with you. I began my journey. And my chief steward, I was also very lucky in that the lady who ended up representing me and turning the tide on the employer back that many years ago was my chief steward, and who also coached me along the way. Never pressured me. I never felt anything except, you know, she guided me to the various LULD courses that I needed to take, and, you know, was always there to answer questions, was always there to inform me, to educate, to discuss. Then I started to represent people. She, you know, would say, well, you need to go and take notes. We have a meeting happening for an individual that's going to be disciplined. And, you know, she started taking me to different things like, you know, Corey, would you be interested to see what a step 2 is? Yeah, I would. And I went, and that just evolved into, you know, me becoming of service to others. And now Terry's retired, and now I'm taking a bigger bite. I've done stints as an LRO. I'm going to end up being a chief steward in my workplace because that Terry, she's retired now. And now I'm the person that folks are looking to. What a strange world, you know, for it to end up coming 360 degrees. You know, now I'm the one educating the new people. I owe the SGEU. I owe Terry. I owe all of it.
Partway through our unionizing process, employees of Nortep Norpac met with representatives from SGEU at a local restaurant in La Ronge. That same evening, a member of our management team also happened to be in that restaurant, and basically the cat was out of the bag at that point. The next day at work, a member of senior management engaged in intimidating activities with me at work. He informed me that should we join a union, my position would be made out of scope and I would not have union protection. I informed that member of management at that point that when employers are aware that employees are engaging in unionizing efforts, they are not allowed to change people's job descriptions, nor are they permitted to intimidate employees in the workplace. To do so is considered an unfair labor practice. Even though that was a very difficult time for me, I was quite proud of myself for having stood up to that member of management.
I've been involved with SGU as a steward since my employment at Paul Dojak Youth Center 13 years ago. Within SGU, I sit on many committees, and one of them is the Human Rights Equity Committee. One of my highlights in being a union activist and a union member of SGU is when I got involved with working with the faculty, some faculty of the University of Regina and the President's office in stopping the deportation of the 2 Nigerian students in 2011 who were facing deportation. They were here on a student visa and they are not supposed to work out of campus. Mistakenly, they went and worked at Walmart for a few weeks. And I saw this as the punishment does not fit the crime. So I got involved, I got my union involved, SGU, Saskatchewan Federation of Labor, and the Canadian Labour Congress in stopping the deportation of these 2 Nigerian students and also to give them the opportunity to complete their education at the University of Regina. In 2012, before the deportation order was executed for the girls, they went into hiding in a church basement for 500 days. It was also our responsibility also to provide them with their basic needs like the clothing, we provided with warm clothing, we provided with the basic necessities of life. And we worked on various campaigns like letter writing, petition, making t-shirts, distributing t-shirts at folk festival, at music festival. We did different types of campaign so that this issue will be well known publicly in the community. Eventually, the girls have to return back to Nigeria. And we were able to bring them back in 2014 through a fundraising effort. We were able to purchase tickets for them to come back and complete their education. And as a woman of African descent, I know the value of education. When a girl child is educated in Africa, she doesn't only make a difference in her life, she makes a difference in the family, in the community, and the nation as a whole. So I'm very happy and glad that my union, SGEU, the Saskatchewan Federation of Labor, the Canadian Labour of Congress, was involved in bringing back these girls to complete their education in Regina. SGU not only look after her members, she looks after people who are in need in the community where they are needed the most. SGU is always there to make a difference in the life of the people in the community. I'm glad she made a huge difference in the lives of these 2 girls.
Since the establishment of the Saskatchewan Government Employees Union at Nortep Norpak, employees are feeling much more positive about the workplace. We feel that we have a voice and that our concerns are being addressed. A bargaining unit has been formed and we are in the early stages of negotiating a collective agreement where we hope that our concerns regarding salaries and job security will be addressed. Management has also come to see the union and the employees as allies in working with the provincial government in light of budget cutbacks. The future's looking a lot more optimistic at Nortep Norpak.
Thank you for watching this video. If you would like more information about SGEU, please send us an email, call our toll-free number, or even better, drop by one of our offices in Regina, Saskatoon, or Prince Albert. See you soon.